Points in time today? Perfect. So go ahead and just get settled on your mat. Take a second to remove the flesh from underneath your sitting bones. Just lifting up the skin and the muscle that's under there, and notice how that props you up just a little bit higher. And right exactly where you are, take a moment just to land. Perhaps this is the first invitation just to land and be exactly where you are. The first opportunity to move into stillness in your day. Begin to take nice deep inhales through your nose, parting your lips, and exhale and sigh it out. Today's theme of the practice is centered around self-love. That's going to be my theme for the month as I teach my Sunday morning classes. And we're right around the corner of Valentine's Day, which is tomorrow. I'm using that as an opportunity to check in with myself, take care of myself, and I'm hoping to share some of that with you here today on the mat and equip you with some ideas and reframes that you can take off the mat with you after today's practice. Part of self-love is, taking care of ourselves, but also offering ourselves some grace and some self-compassion. So today's practice is really going to be centered around the idea of self-compassion. And we're so used to, many of us are empaths, we're so used to offering out compassion to other people, making sure that the needs of others are taken care of. If you're a parent, then you know that means looking after your kids. And so through this idea of selflessness and giving, we often give so much of ourselves to others. And what gets lost somewhere in that translation and somewhere in all of that doing and giving is the time and the energy that we so need to fill our own cups and re-nourish ourselves. And so throughout today's practice, I'll be encouraging you just to tune inwards to yourself and offer yourself endless self-compassion. That means allowing yourself to take what you need. And over the next hour, I'm going to ask several times, what do you need? Maybe in that moment, it'll be the need for an extra breath. Maybe in that moment, it'll be the need to slow down. Maybe to cultivate some strength and courage as the practice begins to pick up. Give yourself permission to ask yourself what you need by tuning into your body and really allowing yourself the opportunity to answer your own need. If your eyes are closed, take a moment to blink them open, looking around your space here, noticing what enters your vision, what enters your field of awareness. And then take a moment to look down towards yourself. Placing one hand on top of the other over your heart center, gazing down and inwards towards your heart. Can you take a moment to recognize yourself here in this moment? Take a deep breath, send that inhale all the way down into your belly. With your lips closed, exhale, sigh out through your nose. Gazing down at your heart, take a moment now to recognize that you are your best teacher. Every movement or breath practice I guide you through in today's practice is merely a suggestion, I am here as your guide, and your body is your teacher. So listen to your needs. Beautiful. Take one more deep breath in through your nose. Part your lips. Exhale, audible sigh. You got it. Good. If your eyes are closed, begin to blink them open and slowly begin to transition onto your mat, onto your hands and knees. So be mindful here as you're moving to move with ease and with slowness, perhaps even at half speed of what you're used to doing. We move through life extremely quickly, often hurried, often rushed. And the first goal of self-compassion is just to slow that down, offering yourself some time, the gift of time. Ground down through all four corners of your palms. Toes are tucked underneath you for some extra stability. Right away here, if you have any injuries to your knees or your wrists, you're going to want to invite a little bit of a micro bend in your elbows and keep your toes tucked under for stability for your knees. You got it. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze. Good. Exhale, push into your palms, round through your spine, chin to chest, cat pose. Good. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze. Exhale, chin to chest, round through your spine, pushing evenly into both palms. Micro bend in your elbow. Good. Inhale back to a neutral spine. Take your knees as wide as your mat. So open up your knees to the width of your mat. Untuck your toes and allow them to touch at the center of your mat. Walk your palms up one amount, whatever that is, 1 foot, one hand amount. And then sit your hips down towards your heels, moving into child's pose. Right away here, offering yourself some compassion. If this is hard on your knees, this is an opportunity for you to take that blanket that I had you grab at the beginning of the practice, rolled up. You can stick that behind your knees just so that your the base of your spine has a little bit more support and you're not putting as much pressure onto your knees. You got it. We don't often begin practice in child's pose, but I wanted to begin here today as an opportunity for you to turn inwards and to consider your spirit and the imagery of your spirit as a diamond. If your spirit and your being in your body, in your mind and your heart were to be encapsulated into a diamond, can you imagine that as you move through life and you experience things, you meet people, you face hardships, new challenges, new adventures appear on your horizon, and each of those things brings with it a layer of conditioning. Perhaps that's a layer of belief. Perhaps that's just, an ingrained value. And all of those forms of conditioning are moving together and clouding almost that diamond that we have inside. So our diamond becomes a little bit dusty, covered by and clouded by all that conditioning and the experiences that we encounter in our life. What if through today's practice, through your breath and through your movement, you allow yourself the opportunity to reconnect with your inner brilliance by simply breathing away any of that conditioning or clouding on the surface of your inner diamond. Take a deep inhale in through your nose. On your exhale, see if you can soften a little bit more into your child's pose. Inhale. Exhale, soften. Inhale the clarity. And exhale, imagine that breath is polishing your diamond, creating that clearness so that you can reflect back to yourself your inner power. Beautiful. And then inhale, begin to lift your head, swing forward off your feet onto your hips there. Align your knees underneath your hip points, your wrists underneath your shoulders. Toes are tucked under for stability. And just like we did before, inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze. Exhale, curl chin to chest, round through your spine. Perhaps you feel some opening now on your ankles, the fronts of your feet. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze. Finding a few more rounds right here with your own rhythm of breath. Not worrying about the pace at which I'm going or anyone else. Using your breath to set your rhythm. Finish up your last cycle and we'll meet in tabletop position just with a neutral spine. Go ahead and walk your hands out to the far corners of your mat. And then with your toes tucked under, begin to sit your hips back down towards your heels. So different from child's pose, your knees are exactly towards the midline. This time, imagine you've got cupcakes underneath your fingertips and you don't want to smush the frosting. Keep that nice tented fingers. Imagine connecting your shoulder blades onto your back body. Notice how that allows your heart to sink a little bit deeper, but maintains a nice lift through your underarm. Breathe in here. This is puppy dog pose, and I'm introducing this right at the beginning as an option for you to return to at any point in today's practice if your body longs for a moment to rest and to settle. Beautiful. And then inhale, lift your body back up, palms aligned underneath your shoulder blades. With your toes tucked underneath you, lift your hips up and back into your very first downward dog of today's practice. If this is your first time doing downward dog ever or in a long time, allow yourself to just find what feels good for you here. So maybe that means taking a couple of steps back with your feet, pedaling out through your heels, one at a time, feeling a nice stretch along your calf muscle. Maybe it means widening your stance or narrowing your hands. Maybe it means lowering down to your knees and meeting us in table. Wherever you are, if you're up in downward facing dog, inhale and exhale, find stillness. Either in downward facing dog or tabletop position here. Breathe in through your nose. Part your lips, exhale, sigh it out. Good. Inhale, look between your palms. Exhale, begin to take little tiny baby steps up towards the top of your mat until your feet are flat. And we'll meet in forward fold here. Good. Inhale, slide your fingertips to your shins, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward, let it go. Right here in your forward fold, invite a nice generous bend into your knees. Okay, notice how that allows your torso to rest on the tops of your thighs, creating a little bit of a release in your low back. Option here to grab opposite elbows and let your head droop down. Ragdoll pose. On your next inhale, imagine sending your hips up towards the sky. And on your next exhale, imagine sending the crown of your head down towards the floor. You got it. Beautiful. If your hands are clasped on opposite elbows, go ahead and release. Inhale, slide your fingertips to your shins, halfway lift. Exhale and fold forward. Inhale, root down, firmly into both feet. Extend your arms all the way up to the sky. Reach all the way up. This is our first extension of the practice. Imagine radiating through your fingers all the light that's within you. Good. Exhale, wingspan length. Swan dive your arms all the way back down. Good. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, root to rise. Arms come all the way up to the sky. Good. And we're going to move through 2 rounds of sun salutation here. Inhale, palms come down towards heart center. Exhale, side out right here. Beginning our first sun salutation. Inhale, arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, swan dive your arms, hinge at your hips, fold forward. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward, plant your palms, and step both feet back one at a time. Moving into a plank position here. So in a plank position, you're going to want your heels to be aligned over your toes. So if you're noticing that your heels are far back, slide forward slightly. Lower your knees down towards the mat, toes stay tucked under, and then bend through your elbows. Hug your elbows into your body as you lower down to the mat. Untuck your toes. Press into your palms. Inhale, push into your arms, lift your heart forward into your back bend. Beautiful. Exhale, curl your toes, and then lift your hips up and back into downward facing dog or puppy dog. Breathe here. You got it. Inhale, look between your palms. Exhale, take a couple of steps up towards the top of your mat and fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Root through your feet. Inhale, arms all the way up to the sky. Beautiful. Exhale, palms slide down through heart center and alongside your waist, right here where you are. Invite your eyes to close just for a moment and check in. What do you need? Perhaps your heart rate has begun to increase. Perhaps it longs for a deep, nourishing breath. Perhaps you need to root firmly through all 4 corners of your feet. Beautiful. If your eyes are closed, gently blink them open. Inhale, arms up all the way to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips, fold forward, swan dive your arms all the way down. Inhale, slide your fingertips to your shins, halfway lift. Extend through your crown. Exhale, fold forward, plant your palms, step back into a high plank position, exactly like you did before. In your high plank position, swing forward onto your toes. Heels are over your toes. Option to lower your knees down here as you lower yourself down to the earth. Untuck your toes. Plant through evenly through both palms. Inhale, lift your heart into your back bend. Cobra here. Tuck your toes. And then swing your hips up and back into downward facing dog, or sit your hips back towards your heels in puppy dog. Right away here, inhale, look to the palms. Exhale, step or hop your feet forward and fold forward. You got it. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, root to rise, arms come all the way up to the sky. And then exhale, drawing your palms overhead and slide them down to heart center. Take a moment here to step, heel toe your feet in towards the midline so that the insides of your soles of your feet are touching. You got it. Take a deep breath in through your nose and extend through the top of your head as if someone's pulling a marionette string. And then exhale, begin to sit your hips down as if you were to sit into an imaginary chair. Good. Inhale here. Extend through your crown ever so slightly. Exhale, begin to sit a little bit deeper. One more time, inhale it, loosen up, extend through your crown. Exhale, sit a little bit deeper. Perhaps like me, you're feeling your quadriceps, your thigh muscles beginning to shake a little bit. That's okay. That's signaling you that they're there, that you have muscles that are working for you. Beautiful. And then inhale, extend all the way up, push into your feet, arms come all the way up overhead. Exhale, swan dive your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers behind your back, and then send them down, down, down your tailbone. To counteract that effect, imagine someone pulling that string out the top of your head in opposite directions, feeling the push and the pull as we often do in life in multiple directions. And despite those opposing forces, can you take a deep inhale right here, offering yourself some self-compassion. Ask yourself what you need. You got it. Unclasp your hands. Inhale, lift your arms up and overhead. Join your palms through heart center. Here, pull your feet back to the center if they weren't already. And then go ahead and sit back into your imaginary chair. This time, sit a little bit deeper right away. Draw your palms, the thumb of your hands into your heart center. Good. Inhale here. Exhale, sit a little bit deeper and then begin to hook your right elbow across your left knee. And perhaps this is exactly what happens. Perhaps your right elbow lands right on your knee and this is where you stay. The most important thing is that you're breathing here. Perhaps you invite yourself to see what it feels like to begin to twist open to the left side. Your gaze traveling over your left elbow. Just for one cycle of breath. You got it. And then inhale, unhook your elbow, fold forward. Exhale, release. Good. Inhale, slide your fingertips to your shins, halfway lift. Exhale and fold forward. Let it go. Inhale all the way up to the sky. We got to even it out to the other side. Draw your palms down through heart center. Connect your thumbs to your sternum, your heart center. And then sit your hips back down into your imaginary chair right away. Here, go ahead and hook your left elbow across your knee, your right knee. And perhaps your left elbow just lands right where it is. And this is where you stay. Ask yourself what you need here. Perhaps your gaze travels over your right elbow, moving into your chair twist. One more deep breath here. Inhale, return to center. Exhale, sigh it out, let it go. Heel toe your feet back to hip distance apart. Notice what it feels like to release some of that tension in your upper leg muscles. And then option here to take a nice generous bend in your knees, grab hold of opposite elbows and just sway from side to side. Releasing any of that tension that may have built up along your legs and perhaps into your low back. You got it. Find stillness here in your ragdoll. Unclasp your hands if you've got hold of opposite elbows. Good. Place your palms down and then step back into a high plank position. Right away here, slide forward, lower your knees down towards the mat, untuck your toes, and lower your body all the way down. You got it. Take note of where your hands are underneath your elbows, and can you replace your hands with your elbows? So go ahead and align your elbows directly underneath your shoulder blades. You got it. Fingertips are facing the top of your mat. Evenly spread fingers. And right here, I want you to take a moment to see if you can ground down through the tops of your hip sockets. So if you were to place your hands right where your hip points are, how much can you ground them down towards the earth? That hip stability is going to protect your low back. Right here in Sphinx pose, pressing down to the tops of your feet. Inhale, shine your heart forward. If you've got low back pain, perhaps you start to feel a little bit crunching sensation happening in the back here, and that's okay. Just lower your chest down a little bit. You want to move to the point of sensation, but not past the point of pain. Inhale into your nose. Exhale, open your lips, sigh it out. You got it. And then go ahead and lower your torso down. Create a pillow for your forehead by stacking one forearm on top of the other or one hand on top of the other. Lowering your forehead down towards your palms. Take a moment here to bend through your knees, lifting your feet up towards the sky. So the soles of your feet are facing upwards. And then gently begin to swing your legs from side to side as if they were windshield wipering a glass that was above you on your ceiling. Beautiful, finding stillness here. Lowering your feet back down towards the earth and taking a moment right here, exactly where you are, with your head, your forehead on your hands, to tune into your breath. And ask yourself right here, what do I need? Maybe what you need is to soften a little bit further into the mat. Maybe you need to adjust your body to make this position more comfortable for you. Maybe you've been holding your breath and you need to just take another one. Wherever you are, together we'll take an inhale in through our nose. Exhale out through your nose. Good. Begin to move extremely slowly. I want you to imagine you are moving through molasses here. As you lift your head off your little pillow that you've created with your hands, slowly moving your hands to be aligned underneath your shoulders. As if you're moving through molasses, push your hands into the earth. Moving through tabletop position. Tuck your toes behind you. Sliding through center, begin to sit your hips down towards your heels. Palms are flat on the earth here on the ground. Feeling a nice deep stretch along your side body, the muscles that line your spine and keep us standing all day. Inhale, begin to move through center into tabletop position. If you have any knee sensitivity, this will be an opportunity to roll up your mat. So you can either take that blanket that you had from the beginning of practice and place that underneath your knees, or roll up your mat so that you create a little bit of a cushion for your knees here as we move into the next portion. Your toes are staying tucked under here. Good. And then go ahead and prop yourself up high onto your knees. Good. Left hand comes to your left thigh, right hand arm goes all the way up to the sky. Inhale. With your gaze, follow your fingertips as you do a backstroke. Follow your fingertips. Good. Right hand comes towards your right thigh. Inhale, extend your left arm all the way up to the sky. Find your fingertips with your gaze. Backstroke. 2-in-1 yoga and swimming. Inhale, right arm up towards the sky, swinging backwards in space. Follow it with your gaze. This time when your arms reach the back of your room, see if you can take notice of where your heel is in space. Right hand comes back towards your right thigh. Inhale, left arm up towards the sky. Follow it in that backstroke. You're painting a nice, beautiful rainbow arch here. When your fingertips reach the back of your space, can you notice your left ankle, in space? Good. This time, right arm comes all the way up. We're moving in a little flow here. See if you can allow your right fingertips to brush or graze your right heel or your right ankle on its way back. And then do the same with the left hand. Arm comes all the way up, creating a nice, beautiful arc there with your fingertips, following it with your gaze. And then this time, see if you can graze your left heel, left ankle with your fingertips. Good. Take a deep breath here and center. Right arm comes up and overhead, just like you did before, continuing the cycle of movement. This time, see if your right hand can land on your right ankle or your right heel. If that feels too far out of reach, go ahead and place your right hand on your right hip. Wherever your hand is in space, slightly paused here for a moment. Notice which parts of your room you can take into your awareness right here, right now. Notice where your body is in space. Good. And then release that bind wherever you are. If you're holding onto your foot or your hip, return to center. Inhale, lift your left hand all the way up. Continue to paint that rainbow arc this time, allowing your left hand to land either on your left heel, your left ankle, or your left hip. This time noticing what you can take in your space from this perspective. Noticing where your body is in space. Beautiful. And then return to center, facing forward. This time, extend your right hand all the way up towards the sky. As it paints the arc, see if you can land on your right ankle or your right heel or your right hip. And then go ahead and do the same thing with your left hand. This time we're backstroking times 2. Both arms are involved here. Sending your gaze back in space with your left hand, seeing if it lands, if it can land on your heels in camel pose. Low back pain, you're going to want to support your low back by placing your hands on the tops of your hips. This pose is not about how far down you go. It's not about depth. It's about how much you can open your heart up towards the sky. It's quite a vulnerable pose. Your heart is exposed. Remembering all the while that vulnerability is an essential ingredient for self-compassion. Wherever you are, whether you are bound onto your ankles or up on your hips, go ahead and release that bind. Send both arms up and overhead. Good. Exhale, palms down through heart center. If your mat's rolled up, go ahead and unravel it. Moving right into a tabletop position here. Toes are tucked under. Begin to sit your hips back towards your heels. Walk your fingertips out towards the far end of your mat, feeling a nice extension through your spine here. Hands can stay exactly where they are in the far corners of your mat, or draw your palms in, doing a 1 potato, 2 potato stack right underneath your forehead, creating a little bit of a mount for your forehead as you lower down here, allowing the muscles of your surrounding your spine and along your back body to just release any of the tension that they may have been cultivating through that last sequence. One more deep breath in here. Exhale, sigh it out. Good. If your palms are stacked, unstack them, moving through tabletop position. Hands are underneath your elbows, knees are underneath your hip points. Go ahead and inhale. With your toes tucked under, exhale, begin to pike your hips up and backwards in space, downward facing dog. Take a moment here to pedal out through your heels. Feeling a nice stretch along your calf and your ankle. Finding stillness here in your downward facing dog. Inhale, extend your right leg up and back behind you. Doesn't matter how high it goes. Right away here, swing your right leg all the way through in between your palms. If you need to use your hand to boost your foot forward, do that. And then lower your knee down, your left knee down towards the mat. So you're in a little bit of a low lunge situation here. Tuck your back toes under. That's going to serve to protect your knee. And then check in to see that your right knee is stacked directly over top your right ankle. Good. You can stay exactly right where you are. Or options to inhale, engage your core as you lift your torso up. This is bus stop 2. Bus stop 3, extend your arms all the way up and overhead. Take a nice deep breath in. Interlace your fingers and just release your index fingers towards the sky. Right here, take a moment if your hands are extended to connect your shoulders onto your back body. Notice how that shines your heart forward. Press into the big toe mound of your front foot. You got it. And then if your hands are clasped, unclasp them, lower them down to frame your front foot. Option to stay right here. Option 2, press into your back toes and fire up your back leg, lifting your left knee off the mat. Good. Breathe here. Fantastic. And then go ahead and pivot your left foot so that your heel comes down towards the mat. Check to see that your front heel, so the heel on your right foot, intersects in a line with the arch of your back foot. So you've got front heel to back arch alignment. Lean into your front foot so that your right knee is tracing over your right ankle. And then engage your core. Inhale, windmill your arms all the way up towards the sky. You got it. Well done. If you've lost some of your lunge in that little windmill situation, go ahead and just lunge a little bit deeper into your front leg so that your right ankle and your right knee are in a nice straight line. This is warrior 2. Take a moment to loop your shoulders onto your back body and then send your gaze over your front fingertips. You got it. You can do this. You are doing this. Breathe here. Good. Exhale, drop your right forearm down towards your right thigh. Send your left arm all the way up to the sky. Just point all the way up. So not over your head. Allow it to point to your true north towards the sky. And then right here, imagine that your left glute is on a Ferris wheel, spinning inwards. And if you imagine that, can you draw your left shoulder back in space, opening up through your chest just a little bit more, shining your heart forward. Gaze can be up towards your top fingertips. They can be down towards your bottom fingertips or straight in front of you. This is extended side angle variation. You can stay exactly right here. If you're feeling too much stretch in your hip, just simply lower your hand down towards your hip. If you'd like more extension, if that's what your body is longing for, begin to drop your left bicep down towards your right ear, your left ear, right ear. That would be a pretzel. Send your left bicep down towards your left ear. Extend through your left fingertips wherever you are in space. Send your left shoulder back in space. Spiral your heart open. This is extended side angle. You got it. One more deep breath here. Exhale, windmill your arms all the way back into warrior two. So warrior two, your front leg is lunged. Go ahead and straighten your front leg. And then lunge into your front leg. Straighten your front leg. Lunge into your front leg. On the next round, see if you can pair the breath with your movement. Inhale to lunge. Exhale to straighten. Inhale to lunge. Exhale to straighten. Always have the option to drop your hands down towards your hips. Inhale to lunge. Exhale to straighten. Good. When you're straightened the next time, stay exactly where you are. Begin to lean forward into your right fingertips, and then begin to spiral your right fingertips down towards the inside of your right thigh, sending your left fingertips up towards the sky. You can stay exactly right here, or if you've practiced Trikonasana triangle pose before, you have the option to lower your right hand closer down towards the mat. Wherever you are in space, breathe deeply. Exhale to return back up to warrior two, lunging into your front leg. You got it. Straighten your front leg, pivot your right toes to face the front of your mat, the long edge of your mat. Interlace your fingers behind your back body. Pull them down. Create that openness through your chest. Right away here, create a micro bend in your knees. So don't lock out through your knee joints. Create a little bit of a micro bend so you should be able to bounce. And then exhale, begin to tilt forward like a teapot as you begin to lower your crown of your head in the general direction of the earth. If this is where you stop, this is where you stop. The most important thing about asking yourself what you need is listening to what the answer is. Identifying your needs is half the step. Fulfilling your needs is the other half. Wherever you are in this wide-legged forward fold, option to unclasp your hands if they're behind you, drawing your fingertips down in front of you for some extra balance and stability. Perhaps your back is flat. Perhaps your head is lowered a little bit further down to the earth. Either way, you've got a micro bend in your knees. You can probably feel that nice stretch along your hamstrings and your inner thighs. Inhale, extend through your crown, create a flat back wherever you are. Let's meet in a flat back position. And then begin to walk your fingertips in towards your body. Fingertips up towards your hips. Nice generous bend into your knees. Good. Lift all the way back up. You got it. Right away here, turn your left toes to face the short edge of your mat. And then check in to see that you've got a front heel to back arch alignment going on here. So your front foot is now your left foot. Good. Pivot your hips forward. Spiral onto your back toes. Lower your hands to frame your front foot. Option to stay right here with your left knee tracing over your left ankle, or to lower your right knee down towards the earth. Yogi's choice. If your back leg is fired up, inhale. And then exhale. If your back knee is lowered down, go ahead and fire it up just for a second as we pivot on our back toes, aligning our back foot parallel to the short edge of our mat, lunging into your front leg. Engage your core. Inhale, spiral your arms all the way up to the sky, moving into warrior two on the other side. If you've lost a bit of your lunge there, go ahead, check in with your knee, lunge a little bit deeper. Just till you feel a nice activation in your quadricep muscle here. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. Drop your left forearm down towards your left thigh. Send your right fingertips up towards the sky, your true north. And then begin to spiral your right glute in towards your body. That means spiraling your right shoulder backwards in space. Notice how that shines your heart forward just a little bit more. Maintaining that lunge in the front leg. Breathe in. Good. Stay exactly where you are, or option to begin to lower your right bicep down towards your right ear. Reaching through your right fingertips. Sending your right shoulder back in space. Extended side angle. You got it. Inhale, extend all the way back up. Warrior two. Exhale, straighten your front leg. Inhale, lunge into your front leg. Exhale, straighten your front leg. Inhale, lunge into your front leg. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale, bend. Exhale, extend. You got it. With your arms extended, your legs extended here, begin to reach forward with your left fingertips. Send your left hand down in towards your left thigh. Right hand comes up towards the sky. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Good, and then windmill your arms all the way back into warrior two, lunge into your front leg. Right here, notice your strength. If your arms are beginning to waver, you have the option to choose rest. You have the option to breathe into some of that tension. Good, wherever you are, extend through your front leg, your left leg. Pivot your toes to face the front of your mat. Lower your hands down towards your hips. Heel toe your feet to hip distance apart. Inhale, extend through your crown. Exhale, hinge at your hips, fold forward. Option to grab hold of your ankles here. Micro bend your knees so that you're not locking out through your knee joints. Your hands can stay in front of you, but if you've chosen the option to grab hold of your ankles, go ahead and grab the fleshy part behind your ankles and begin to pull that flesh up towards the body, towards the top of the body. So just as much force as you're placing to root down through your feet, can you apply the exact same force to pull up through the flesh behind your ankles and your calf muscles? Good, and then release your hands down in front of you. Good, inhale, fingertips slide towards your shins, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Plant your palms wherever you are. One at a time, begin to lower your knees down towards the earth. Moving through tabletop position. In tabletop, slower than molasses, I want you to take your right ankle and cross it over your left ankle. So you've got a little crisscross applesauce situation going on behind you. And then sit your hips down in between that space that you've created. Walking your hands back to support you. Creating a nice round spine here. If you've got a blanket from the beginning of practice, go ahead and grab it now. Option to roll up that blanket as you lower yourself down here just for a moment so that the blood pressure can catch up with your body. If you've got yoga blocks, you can align yoga blocks underneath your hands just to bring the earth a little bit closer to your body. Or if you're craving a nice deeper release, go ahead and align your forearms down towards the floor and allow your head to release gently. So that all the tension in the back of your neck can evaporate. With your gaze looking inward, check in with your inner diamond. Can you use your next breath to unfog any parts that still may seem cloudy? Right here, right now, what do you need? On your next inhale, begin to press your body all the way up. I invite you to close your eyes if you feel comfortable for this next transition, with the hope that you are your greatest teacher, and with the trust that you can trust your own body as you move into a supine position. So if your eyes are closed, trusting that you know where your body is in space, shimmying yourself downwards to lying down flat on your back, supine. When you're down on your back, go ahead and hug your knees in towards your body, perhaps rocking from side to side, massaging out that low back. Finding stillness here. Good. Drop your left foot down towards the earth, so the sole of your foot connects down. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh, creating a little figure 4 shape. Right away here, flex your right toes towards your right knee, activating that arch of your foot and protecting your knee joint. Inhale, draw your left knee in towards your body, lifting your foot off the earth. Option to grab hold of your thigh here, your left thigh. Option to thread your fingertips through the little space in that figure 4 and connect on the outside of your shin. Check in to see that you haven't lost the flexing of your right foot towards your right knee. Your right toes are flexed. You got it. Inhale, hug your knee in towards your body a little bit deeper, and then option to use your right elbow just to push out your right knee a little bit further so that you can feel that stretch into your right hip. Option to stay right here, or to invite a little bit of gentle rocking from side to side so that you can feel into what that stretch feels like in various positions along your right hip. If rocking a baby, rock yourself here. Nurturing your inner child, your inner diamond. Find stillness, lower your left sole of your foot down towards the earth. Slide your right leg fully across your left leg now so that your legs are crossed. Good, and then begin to allow your legs to fall out towards the left side of your mat. Moving into a supine twist here. Remember, it's not about the depth of how far you twist. Wherever you land, can you draw a deep inhale in through your nose? Deep exhale out through your nose. Beautiful. Inhale to return to center, swinging your legs back through midline. Go ahead, uncrisscross your legs. Hug both knees in towards your chest. Rock from side to side here just for a moment. And then lower your right foot down towards the earth. Plant the sole of your foot. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh, creating a figure 4 shape. Flex your left toes towards your left knee. Protect your knee joint. And then on an inhale, draw your right knee in towards your body, lifting both legs towards you, choosing whether you'd like to grab hold of your thigh or your shin. And if neither are an option for you, right sole of your foot is down onto the floor. Resting in the figure 4 shape, breathing into that hip socket. Beautiful. And then wherever you are, slide your left foot over your right leg, fully crisscrossing both legs. And then allow your legs to fall out towards the right side of the room. Moving into a supine twist on the other side. Option to draw your gaze towards the opposite direction, the left side of the room. Softening here. Breathing deeply. Washing away any of the tension that you may feel along your back or your hip flexor. Beautiful. Inhale, return to center. Both legs come up. Take your feet as wide as your mat. Plant the soles of your feet on the earth. And then windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Releasing any tension or tightness in the fronts of your hips. Beautiful. Wherever you are, find stillness and then extend both legs out to the far corners of your mat. Toes are pointing up. Take a moment to loop your shoulders underneath your back body. Notice how that lifts your heart a little bit higher and props it up. So just tucking your shoulder blades underneath your back body. Palms are facing up towards the sky for our final resting posture, Shavasana. If you have a blanket, now's the opportunity to either place it over top of yourself as we rest here for a couple of moments. If you don't have a blanket, simply breathe in. Allow your exhale to serve as a blanket covering you. Breathing deeply. allowing every inhale and every exhale to allow you to soften into your body, connecting with your inner brilliance, recognizing and remembering your true nature, pure, light, love, whole. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Sending your next inhale all the way down to your toes. And when it reaches your toes, can you invite some gentle movement into your feet? Perhaps giving your toes a little bit of a wiggle, beginning to flex your ankles. The next breath you take in, can you send to your fingertips? And when the breath is there, can you invite some gentle movement into your hands, your fingertips, your wrists, take a nice deep breath in and extend your arms all the way up and overhead, reaching out beyond your head along the floor. Extend your toes in the opposite direction, as if someone is pulling you from both ends, remembering here that when you are pulled in opposite directions by life, you simply need to take a breath, reconnect to your center, softening here in your body. Ask yourself, what do I need? With your eyes closed, I invite you to begin to make your way up into a seated position. There is no right or wrong way to do that. My only word of advice is to move slowly, mindfully. Once you are up in a seated position, take a moment to sit up nice and tall by removing the flesh from the back of your sit bones, grounding down evenly through both hip points. Take a moment to loop your shoulders up, back, down, creating a little bit of space between your shoulder blades and your ears. Inhale, extend your arms all the way up and overhead, reaching for the blessings that will be coming your way. Connect your palms overhead, draw your palms down through heart center, connect your thumbs to your heart center. Bow down inwards to yourself. There is a little mantra of self-compassion, and in the theme of today's class, you are welcome to repeat it after me by simply whispering it to yourself or saying it in your mind. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I feel safe. May I feel free. May I live life with ease. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Part your lips, exhale, release, sigh it out. Thank you so much for joining me in today's practice. I'm so proud of you all for offering yourself the self-compassion you so deserve. The light and the love and the compassion in me bows to the light and the love and the compassion in each of you. Namaste.